especially that
I know where you're going.
that is Joe for you. I was trying by all means to tease him.
I know where you're going, but no.
Definitely get that point, that answer, but
not anytime soon.
Being smart as he is.
Not anytime soon, sir.
Being smart as he is. Anyway, let's get into our first segment this morning. Even as we get to hit the month of June, let's get to see what our resident doctor has for us in terms of what do we need to look out for in terms of the health, ensuring that we are kept in check, because a wealthy nation is dependent on a healthy people. Let's get to the health segment this morning.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Health Corner here on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakubia Namfaya. So this month of March, we have been looking at conditions that are affecting women, and we've looked at so many conditions. We've looked at breast cancer, we've looked at fibroids, and we looked at cervical cancer. So this week, we are going to look at yet another topic that affects a lot of women, and it's a very common condition, and I'm sure some people might have this condition and they might not really know that they have this condition. So this week we're going to talk about polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I don't know if you've heard about it before, but polycystic ovarian syndrome is also known as PCOS. Is a condition where a woman would have irregular menses. So they would have what we call oligomenorrhea, which is irregularity in their menses, or they might have amenorrhea, which is where they don't have any menses at all. So oligomenorrhea can even be for just 2 months. So you might find that they have menses for 2 months and then they skip a month or so, or they might have, their periods might come only after 6 months or even 3 months. So it's not specific, so it can be any amount of time. So that's what we call oligomenorrhea. So most people who have PCOS would have this syndrome of having oligomenorrhea or amenorrhea, where they do not have regular menses. And then they would also have hyperandrogenism. So hyperandrogenism is a condition where you have excess male hormones such as testosterone. So your body tends to produce more of the hormones, the male hormones, and less of the estrogen hormone, which is the female hormones, and the other female hormones that the brain also produces. So because of that, they might also usually have cysts in the ovaries. So the ovaries produce an ovum every month, and so once it produces a lot of these ovums and they form some cysts in the ovaries, they would usually call that as polycystic ovary. So they would have polycystic ovaries, and usually one ovary would even have up to 20 or more cysts. And so PCOS would be defined as somebody who has 20 or more cysts in one or both of the ovaries, and also has the oligomenorrhea with amenorrhea, and also has hyperandrogenism. So that is what PCOS is, or polycystic ovarian syndrome. So this week we'll look at some of the causes, what really happens, how does this condition come about, and we'll also look at the signs and symptoms. What can you see apart from the irregular menses? What other symptoms do these people have that can show that somebody has polycystic ovarian syndrome? Then we'll also look at how it's diagnosed and treated, and then finally we'll look at the complications. So we need to understand what are some of the complications that these people might have, and how can we prevent those some of these complications from happening. So make sure that you watch every day, and make sure that you learn so that you can be able to share the information with your friends and your family as well. And if you missed any episodes on the Health Breakfast Show, you can always make sure you watch the videos on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya. And don't forget to subscribe as well and share with your friends. So I'll see you again tomorrow. I do hope you have learned something. Stay blessed and stay healthy.
Thank you so much to Dr. Nakuyana Mfaya right there, just taking us through the topic, what is a polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS. Those are some of interesting health conditions that you and I need to brace ourselves with, and also get to learn one or two things, and ensuring that we get to protect ourselves in case such a condition comes knocking on our door. And just talking about that, we get to transition into the money market this morning and get to see if things or overnight they've taken a shift when it comes to the money market, looking at the local currency as well as the international market. There you have it on your screen. The talk still remains the same. The United States dollar is buying at 25.63 Ngwe and selling at 26.16 Ngwe. The euro is buying at 27.86 Ngwe and selling at 28.40 Ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 1.37 Ngwe and selling at 1.40 Ngwe. The Great British pound is buying at 32.66 Ngwe and selling at 33.31 Ngwe. The update come to you courtesy of today at exactly 07:35, the 3rd of June 2024. Remember that these exchange rates, they vary from one bank to bank, and obviously much talk would normally still be on the United States dollar, that we've seen the same trend continuing even in this new month. But are we likely to see more of a reduction when we talk about the selling part of the United States dollar? We know that last week we closed somewhere at around the 27 kwacha 16 Ngwe, somewhere there, and now we were seeing a reduction in terms of being at 26 kwacha 0.13 Ngwe, and is the same going to be the case as business opens on a Monday, Joe?
We're not expecting much changes, Nelson, seeing that last week we closed around 27 kwacha, and today we're opening the market at 26 kwacha 13 Ngwe. Like we always say, the kwacha has been swinging like a pendulum, 25, 26, 27.
Yes.
No significant change has happened, and we do not expect any significant change in the month of June, Nelson, unless if a miracle happens, for instance, where we suddenly become an export country. But as it is right now, we are yet to see what the technocrats will do at the Ministry of Finance, and obviously what government, what policies they're going to put in place to make sure that we start earning from our exports. We maximize on our exports. You know, our major export is copper. So we are yet to see what happens, Nelson.
Joe, we get to transition into one of the segments where we get to look at some of the stories that were making headlines over the weekend. And one of the headlines that I did also look at and get to also look at the views or analyze some views that were popping up, especially on social media platforms, was that of former President Edgar Lungu encouraging the current administration that they should tame the cadres, and did mention a lot of things that institutionalizing these cadres could lead to some sort of chaos in this country. And we've also seen some sort of a reaction from the powers that be, and we're talking about the government chief spokesperson in Mr. Cornelius Mwetwa, who is one of the tabloids, has been quoted of saying, look, you are the father of these cadres. Why you don't even have any moral obligation for you to advise us in terms of how we should term our cadres. Joe, this advice comes at the backdrop that we did see cadres infiltrate the DEC offices at the time the former First Lady was being interviewed. That was last week, and today we are likely to see, according to the direction that was given, or the directive that was given by the Drug Enforcement Commission as of last week, that also Chama Member of Parliament Tasila Lungu has to be brought for questioning before the DEC offices. So if that is going to be the case, is one that we continue to ask questions, or maybe may just speculate on. But what is your take on this call by the former president? Is it that we as a country have failed to manage the trend of cadreism despite a directive being given by the president?
Let's go historically quickly. We know that the issues of cadres were amplified at the later stage of the MMD, where we saw Major Richard Nakachingwe.
Yes.
Major Richard Kachingwe.
Yes. Being
hounded out by cadres led by the then MMD diehard Bowman Lusambo back in the day. But that's when we saw cadres begin to have power. But obviously some will take it as way back as the UNIP times, where we had the vigilante who would come for you if you commented something bad about the former president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. May so rest in peace, our founding father. But fast forward, we saw the issue of cadres being amplified more during the PF, when cadres started moving around in town, moving with coffins, saying, for instance, winter must go, campaigning for the removal of Comrade President Winter Kavimba of the economic front now. Then also we saw them wielding pangas, urging the Patriotic Front to fire the then Defense Minister, Geoffrey Wadiamwamba, Honorable Geoffrey Wadiamwamba. Then, and people started talking about these things. Can we term the cadres? Can we term the cadres? Then, unfortunately, President Michael Sata died, may so rest in peace. We saw the re-emergence of cadres and consolidating their place in the political scene when former President Edgar Lungu came along, and he emphasized on many occasions that cadres were his bosses. And indeed so, he had the right to say so, because if you remember what transpired at the Mlungushu Rock of Authority, how he ascended to the presidency of the PF, you will realize that yes, cadres are the ones that took him there, and he had all the authority to say that they were his bosses, because at the end of the day, they paved way for him to be there. If we go into the nitty-gritties of how the voting was done at Mulungushi Rock of Authority, but that's another story for another day. Now, fast forward to where he says, can you term the cadres devoid of politics, devoid of, he might have his own weaknesses, but he ruled this country for 7 years, and for him to say that if we remove the political lenses, if we remove emotions, he is right. Cadres need to be tamed. They start like this. It begins like this. No, they were aggrieved. They were arrested by the PF. They were released. Now they are coming out to express their displeasure. Let me tell you something. No youths would bundle themselves up and begin to march around without anybody having instructed them. We interview these politicians, we know how they play these games. So the issues that have to come with a response saying, you are the father of cadres, so you shouldn't say that. No, look, devoid of any political malice and this rhetoric, at the end of the day, if someone encourages you or advises you, despite them being your enemy, you have to, political enemy that is, you have to heed to advice. If a wrong was committed by the PF, the UPND shouldn't repeat the wrong. If cadres were bad in the PF, they shouldn't be good in the UPND. If, for instance, the president did make mention that he doesn't want cadreism, then why are we seeing the ugly head of cadreism being reared in this particular administration? We saw what happened in town. We saw how many buses were in town and how cadres were insulting and behaving the same way those cadres in the PF were behaving. And these are the same people, because they only change t-shirts. These are the same boys.
Definitely, Joe. That's a perspective. That's a perspective of Joe, and this was nice for me, because Joe will always take you in those times when history was at its peak and ensuring that he relates to the current happenings. Now, let's get to look at the story on Saturday, where former President Edgar Lungu urged Republican President Hakainde Hichilema to take immediate action against ruling party cadres perpetrating hooliganism. The former head of state warns that a failure to do so may lead to a similar downfall as his own in the 2021 general election. He emphasized that the culture of cadres needs to be addressed by the president, who sought to protect all Zambian citizens, including himself. We also get to look at a story of yesterday, that was Sunday, in Mongu, where a tragedy struck in the early hours of Sunday morning. In Mongu District, Western Province Town Center, as a devastating fire swept through Green Market, leaving a trail of destruction and financial ruin in its wake. The blaze, which gutted 7 shops and destroyed goods worth millions of kwacha, left shop owners like Charles Luwinda appealing to government for urgent assistance. We get to look at those two stories, and on the other side, we continue with the show and expecting you also to give us your insight in terms of what you feel should be the right position in terms of the former President Edgar Lungu calling for cadres to be termed under the current administration. We'll be expecting your comments on our Facebook platform, as well as those phone calls through the numbers that you can get through to us. Keep it on Camnet. We'll be back shortly.
And I heard one of the women was saying, what are these people doing here? It's not Mrs. Mutinta Hichilema has been called, it's Esther Lungu. What are they doing here? So we were expecting them to allow PF supporters who came in solidarity with us to just hang around and behave themselves and go. But instead they allowed UPND thugs who came armed, like you saw today. Forget about the songs, the insults and all. But they allowed them and they protected them. So I'm saying that this culture of thuggery, this culture of cadreism, as is commonly known, should be addressed by the president. What we saw 2 days ago is confirmation that the police have got no clout, or they're being told what to do by the party leadership. I don't want to comment about JJ because it's a matter which is subject to investigation, but I can safely tell you that the police have been told to keep away from maintaining law and order while we sort out these PF guys. Who does that? And the president there watching, he took oath, constitution, to protect the lives and people of Zambian property, including me. So you cannot sit there and observe things and say, no, it's okay, because it's Edgar Lungu who is being harassed and mauled and so on. It's not right. It's not right. So be man enough, Mr. President. Take charge of the country. You are losing it.
7 shops in Monguhi's Green Market have been gutted by fire, destroying goods worth millions of kwacha. Shop owners, including Charles Luwinda, are appealing to the government for support as they have lost their livelihood. Luwinda depended on his shop for his living, as now he has nowhere to start from. The fire is believed to have started between 23 hours last night and this morning around 03 hours. As of 07, some shops were still burning and people were trying to put out the fire using buckets of water, as the fire brigade was nowhere to be found. Those spoken to have accused the Mongu Municipal Council of failing to send the fire brigade to quench the fire.
Please, kunolubona kuli department ya brigade aitusiro kwati inanuhe kwati ngema mungu ikazasinyeha
Mashopa na brigade na ba yi kuibaje la mashere Mika hawa ne ukupa kwa muso kuli kabla sichaba kufa sikone kubonela kwati ni kuli at least baba ila kwati mifandi kushe into no bala kukakusa mali business zabo na kuli bazele pili musebenzi wabo.
Kanyonyo Ward Councillor Tapalo Tapalo confirmed the development and appealed to the community to switch off appliances whenever the power goes off to avoid the loss of properties.
Only encouragement is that it does happen. My word of appeal is that we need to be very careful in the manner we use our facilities to switch off the power every time we give our policies, so that in future we avoid such instances.
The area councillor is urging those who lost the properties to apply for assistance from the Constituency Development Fund.
That is applying for power through savings fund, so that we can again start, especially youths, to apply
Musiaba Kabira, Camnet News in Mongo District of Western Province.
Okay, thank you so much for still joining us. Now that's a story coming all the way from Mongo, Barosiland, or western part of Zambia, there where that unfortunate incident took place. We can only hope for the best outcome in that particular development. It makes sad reading and sad watching that particular story. We can only hope that the powers that be intervene and come to the aid of those marketeers. Now, there was a story that was carried out on Saturday where former President Edgar Lungu has appealed to the incumbent president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to tame the UPND cadres, and obviously appealing that he protects all citizens, including the former head of state, because the former head of state also has got a tendency of going into town without police protection. So I think that appeal also covers him, so that in case he makes his way to town, he is mobbed by cadres. Cadres should also he should be protected so that he's not attacked. But anyway, we want to hear from you. How do you make of that particular appeal from the former head of state? But for now, as we continue in zooming our headlines, we do have our guest, Mr. Dennis Mutumba. He is a good governance advocate and he's here with us to have breakfast with us this morning, but most importantly, to analyze the stories of the day and look at other trending national stories. Mr. Mutumba, good to see you and welcome.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, our viewers. Good morning, comrade.
Good morning, Mr. Mutumba.
You guys, you look so smart.
Thank you.
So
it is a Monday.
First Monday.
It is a Monday in the month of June, first Monday. We just have to. Come on now, just look at you, sir.
From the village.
But he's looking smart, eh? He's looking smart. He wants us to look otherwise.
I'm promoting you to get back to the village.
Mr. Mutumba, let's get into it. Let's take it to Monday now. To Saturday, Nelson. Former President Edgar Lungu appeals to President Hakainde Hichilema to tame his cadres. Your take, sir?
It's quite sad that the former head of state has realized that there is importance to provide democracy. His cry and appealing to the president that cadres should be tamed. He must first understand that I think he also made a very big mistake. But the appeal to me is good.
Okay.
He has now realized that the president has all powers to give directives to the security wings and to those that are mandated to provide security. So now, his appeal, where he feels police is frustrating his agenda in the party, I think it is just a process, and also where the former head of state and the faction party must follow the procedure. If they appealed that the president should term the IG, and now he's calling police as cadres like UPND, called police cadres at that time. We are learning a lot, that I think every government should learn a lesson that whatever they are doing today, they must not set a precedency.
Okay.
What used to happen under the PF regime is exactly what is happening now, where, you know, police is not allowing opposition political parties to gather in any way. You get the point? And I want to believe that the president, Hakainde Hichilema, who is the leader of the UPND, I think we are calling his government as a New Dawn government, where we don't expect infringing of rights of those that are in opposition, protesters, demonstrators. They must be given a right to assemble because it's within their constitutional right. So we don't want to see a situation where the same police that was stopping the opposition by then UPND to continue frustrating the rights of the people to gather. What is the reason why they are stopping them? So His Excellency, the former head of state, I think he has realized that they made a mistake. I think in the clip he has mentioned that this is what made us to be moved out, because we never gave democracy and the freedom of assembly. So the president, since it's a New Dawn government, he must not continue to stop anyone gather so long they follow what we call law and order.
Okay.
So now, at the moment, the appeal of the former head of state must be acceptable. No one should say no, what he's saying, what he's appealing is useless. I think he has realized and he has much respect for the president. That's why he has said, Mr. President, he acknowledges that HH has power. But I didn't just like some terms that were made by the former head of state.
Okay,
You know, he was talking about the hooliganism. He was talking about this nonsense. When you are appealing, be humble.
Okay.
Just seek the right directive that will help you in order for you to speak to the people. If at all he has an agenda to speak.
There was no humbleness in
There
this
wasn't
speech?
humbleness. When you are appealing, you are simply asking.
Okay.
He admitted that they did what was not right, which made the people of Zambia to vote them out. Then he must seek the best that provide democracy to everybody.
There was no remorse in
There
his
wasn't
tone?
even a remorse in his statement. I don't know how you looked at the statements that he was making.
You are the expert.
No. To me, I've told you openly that some of the sentiments were not good for a man who is appealing to the president.
Okay.
That's my view.
Nelson.
On Saturday, let's get to also look at this particular issue that has been topical when we talk all issues relating to current affairs. On Saturday, allow me to go through this press statement by Minister Internal Security that was acting by that day in Honorable Ambrose Lufuma, who did give an update to the country that on 31st of May 2024, Petaoke Central Member of Parliament Emmanuel Jeje Banda was discharged from Mainasoko Military Hospital. Upon his discharge, he was invited to the Zambia Police Service headquarters for an interview, during which was accorded all the privileges befitting a witness. This included being interviewed in the presence of his legal counsel, Mr. Sakura Sukota. The interview primarily focused on Honorable Banda's disappearance on 25th of May 2024. Regrettably, Honorable Banda was unable to provide the police with any information regarding the circumstances of his disappearance. Following the completion of the interview related to his disappearance, Honorable Banda was escorted to the police station concerning other ongoing investigations. During this process, Honorable Banda was booked for detention in relation to an alleged offense of attempted murder and assault that occurred in 2015 in Vubwi of Eastern Province. It was during his booking that Honorable Banda developed a medical condition which necessitated his immediate admission to Mainasoko Medical Center, where he is currently receiving medical attention. We would like to emphasize that Honorable Banda has not been formally charged for the alleged offenses at this time. The police are still continuing their active investigation into the matter of his disappearance as well as the aforementioned allegations. We are also committed to ensuring that the due process is followed and that Honorable Banda receives all the necessary medical care and legal rights during this period. Now, having gotten this update from the government itself, we also saw the family on Saturday, the very Saturday afternoon, come to the media, indicate that they don't know where their son was, and pleading with the government that they should release their son, or in the interest that medical doctors at Minasoko Military Hospital did indicate that their son suffered an acute stress. So it wasn't right for police to go ahead with their investigations with a person that has got stress without recovering. Now, there's been so much controversy surrounding all this issue, and we've seen that the Honorable Member of Parliament himself has according to the Minister, has remained mute, but the family believes otherwise. They're saying their son has allegedly fingered some government officials. Some government officials, for that matter. We need to put it in ink.
Yes.
What is your take regarding how this issue is actually unfolding?
Thank you so much.
Interesting story.
Very interesting. If it was a movie, I think the director is a superstar.
Okay, Mel Gibson.
How honestly does somebody who's been abducted can remain mute? Thank you to the government of the UP, and thank you to the minister who is acting on behalf of Jack Mwembo in the Ministry of Home Affairs. The story itself, up to now, it has left you with so many questions and answers, because there is no way one who has been abducted in the manner that we panicked as Zambian people were trying to source information, what could have taken place. This man, when he's questioned by the police, what really transpires, he says, I don't even know whether I was abducted.
We need to know as a nation.
You get the point.
We
Now,
need closure.
We don't know whether this is drama, or maybe it is something that is out of politics, or maybe it is a personal issue, because failing to tell the police, the state, what really transpired leaves much questions, and now begin that maybe this was, another timing, okay, which attracts political intentions to bring division in the country. If it is a personal abduction that has nothing to do with, state concerns, then we expect JJ Banda, now that he was able even to, to speak. I was following a clip where, the minister, the PS, Minister of Information and Broadcasting, and also other government, officials went to visit him at Minasoko. He was responding very well. So now the only thing that
we carried that one in our story.
Yes.
In one of our news.
He was responding very well, though he was seemingly very stressed as a person who is just recovering from a critical situation. But now, if you can't remember what really transpired from the day he disappeared, let me not say the day he was abducted, the day he disappeared, because he doesn't even know who abducted him. We don't know what they told him.
Is it a case of selective amnesia?
Maybe it could be, because such kind of a drama may raise a lot of concern. These are some of the stories that we learned in the previous governments. But for JJ's story, where family members are even accusing the government, accusing Hagainde Ichilema, we have party members that are now incarcerated, are in custody, for reasons that, they were putting allegations against the government. But this is a person who doesn't know what is happening. And the police now,
who took him? He doesn't know.
Who took him? Could it be that maybe he's running away from the issues of cases that are just popping up now, which were done, as my brothers indicated, in 2015? Kapeso,
the ones from Chupata.
Yeah, not only that, but you recall very well, Kapeso, the deputy, IG, was fired because of, threatening JJ. You have those clips.
Oh, yes.
Where he stormed the central police with that courage. You can imagine a cadre who has that courage. And those stories from Hubei. So all these things, maybe it could be, he wanted to create a situation where maybe the police will not follow up those cases. There is another journalist, he was complaining that there was no fairness in the outcome of the judgment. Now all those issues are coming now. I have a complaint as an advocate. I have a complaint that when the police are investigating, look at the period 2015. This is 2024. How many years? Is it because there are political influence that are forcing the police now to investigate when they were supposed to do it that particular time? I'm looking at police becoming unprofessional because it seems there could be some political influence that are making the state now to begin to investigate why did he do this? Why did he afford
But
this?
can you blame them, Mr. Mutumba?
But why
we
should
know
this-
that our men and women in uniform work and operate based on instructions? Can you blame them honestly?
I'm blaming them. Already you're putting it that they work under instruction.
Of
Who has
course.
instructed who to take up the matter now?
Because
Since then.
just to defend my colleague, for instance, incarcerated civil rights activist Brebna Changala, in his application for bail pending trial
Last week.
before the High Court last week, he did mention that the arresting officer allegedly told him to say, we cannot give you bail pending trial because we've not yet received instructions to do that.
No, that is where there's a problem. I
The
wouldn't
command
dance
doesn't
in your
issue the
thought.
instructions,
I
so-
wouldn't dance in your thought to defend the state that they work under
There is no
instruction.
initiative, Mr. Mutumba.
Now listen to me. Whoever is about to give instruction for them to allow a bail to Brenda, I think they are doing it wrongly. Who is influencing? The question, we're not dealing with Brenda now. I'm looking at JJ's cases.
Yes. Okay.
2015 to 2024. Where was the Zambia police? The IG who is here was not there. There was another IG. The president who is here was not there. There was another president.
So probably
Why
the
didn't-
who's here now.
So they are compromising to what they are supposed to do. Breniba, Mone Ozulu, Nawakwi, Danny Pule, they are in. Just few days when they start to comment and utter certain remarks, they are in.
But you support those remarks?
Now we want police to work in that manner, not where issues that are supposed to be done, handled now, should be done in the next regime.
But-
that is unprofessional.
But there's been a narrative, like for instance, that Mulandu Suwal.
No, Mulandu Funika Uwola, because there is a period. Okay, what if somebody who has committed an offense has died? How are you going to resurrect that individual who has committed a crime against other? So that journalist, your colleague,
Yes,
who
our
complained that I think the justice in the judicial system is not okay. I think he was complaining. I think your people that were sharing.
But you
that
know,
comment.
by then, JJ was politically inclined. He was the
Now-
chairperson in Chupata.
We
obviously-
want to see Gilbert Riswaniso, his deputies, or provincial district youth, if they commit an offense, they are not sacred cows.
Okay.
They shouldn't be sacred cows. That's where the police now is missing it. Because if they're going to act based on the instruction, then they're not professional. We want to see UPND cadres that are misbehaving now under the instruction of the IG. Those who violate the law and who breaks it must be brought to book. That is the justice we expect in the new dawn.
Mr. Mutumba, we had not so back in the day, I think in the MMD days, we had a man known as Wazakaza Nguni. Do you remember that?
I recall that man in the MMD regime.
In the MMD regime.
Yes, very sharp IG.
Whether you were from the ruling or from the opposition, you had it rough with him.
He's an example of Benny
Wazakaza
Kapeso.
Yes.
Kapeso went live on the radio telling Iweka JJ that usobera,
It was on
we'll
TV
make
after.
sure.
Yes.
Try it. Now those are officers we want who will definitely tell us the truth that they don't allow nonsense based on the law.
But he was fired.
He was fired.
So meaning that his colleagues have learned from what happened from him. And probably they are watching from the terraces. People have their jobs. You want somebody to be thrown in the streets, Mr. Mutumba. How is he going to provide for his family, for his young family, or pay for his children that are in college? How is he going to do that?
No, I disagree to people that compromise with violators of the law.
Mr. Bonica Peso was fired.
He was fired, and he left a legacy that he was very firm according to his position. Right now, if I'm a member of UPND, I commit an offense, there'll be always, that siding with me because I hold a key position maybe in the government or in the party.
The same was the case.
Yeah.
Last week, we did get confirmation from one of the youth chairperson or one of the youth chairmen that
National Youth Media Director.
National Youth
Danny
Media
Nevers, yes.
Danny Nevers, that look, those were our cadres that had trooped to the deck offices on a Friday, right? And we condemn that act. If anything, that's not how it should be. Later on, we see youth chairperson in Gilbert this one, he says those were not our youths.
A contradictory statement
Altogether.
from the same office.
That's unfair. That's unfair because I am a witness of a gang of cadres in the UPND area. You know, from the middle Cairo Road, they were riding on the flyover bridge going to Central Police, insulting Mboroya Digarongo. I almost wanted to capture the clip, but I feared that these guys may just beat me up. So I used the intelligence. You get the point. They kept on insulting Mboroya Edgar. This is evidence, and there were other people were capturing. If you were to question, how did they had those guts to walk in the streets of Cairo Road, going to Central Police?
Who bought fuel for them in those days?
Who? And why did the police come and arrest them? Because that was an unlawful demonstration, because in many times when opposition is seeking to demonstrate, they are stopped.
Did they notify the police?
I don't know whether they notified the police. If they notified the police, the question is who authorized, because they are not allowing any demonstrator, any protester, anyone who would want to hold a rally. So now, this is where we should learn.
Buses for them.
They were not even having buses. They were just walking. They were a number above 100. And now, when Gilbert is trying to refute to say they are not our own, maybe he understands the type of cadres he has.
Okay.
Let us now begin to appreciate HH when he said that there is no cadreism. No one is following that. Cadreism is coming back. And it is already at 50%. The soonest, it will be at 100%.
Let's go back to the issue of the police.
Yeah.
In your view, how do we change the narrative that the police or the law enforcement agencies can tend to enforce the law without having a political eye, calling a spade and not a big spoon?
We have cadres. We have police officers that are aligned. For example, the IG. I'll be very honest here. The IG, the moment is appointed by the president, is already an aligned person. I don't know. I hope he will not arrest me, but I'm speaking the truth that he remains a person who compromises to the directive. Because if he's a firm man and the president has seen capability in him based on what he did previous, because that man was already in service. He's not a person who is appointed today as a new person in police service. He's been a police officer. He understands the ethics in the police service. So, but if he's not going to arrest people that are affiliated to the ruling government, are waiting only for instruction, then he's not a professional. We don't need him. He must resign.
Okay.
We need people like Benny Kapeso. He's an example of a man who never feared a cadre who belonged to a ruling party. And these are police officers we want. Of course, every police officer is inclined. Some who are in police service today, they were supporting PF. And those that are in police today, some are supporting UPND. How do you expect them to arrest a UPND cadre? It is their member. They'll twist the thing. So we want to see justice where, if I'm a member of UPND, I commit an offense, there is no sacred cow.
Okay, let's move on, Mr. Mutumba, talking about sacred cows, and they should know there shouldn't be any sacred cows. Let's bring it to the news, or some quarters of society believe that currently in Zambia there is no credible opposition political party, and there are some that have urged us in the media to ask opposition political party leaders to tell us how are they going to turn the economic fortunes of this country. What solutions do they have? What they keep on saying is that there's always this blame game. The ruling or the governing party blames the former ruling party, and its alliance members also blame the governing party. But let me find out from you, are there assertions, sentiments, remarks that are coming from some quarters of society suggesting that we don't have a credible opposition political party, or opposition political parties are genuine?
If I ask a question before I answer it, which is the strongest opposition political
I'm
party?
the one asking, Mr. Mutumba.
I'm asking you, are you seeing any?
I'm the reporter here.
These are guys who are just, these are just people who are just, bringing division. They're not providing a solution, which the current government is failing to provide for the people.
Those in the opposition?
I've not seen. I've seen UKA. There are two factions,
But
PF.
it's illegal.
It's
Okay, it's illegal.
Yeah, it's still illegal because it's not yet registered according to the
Minister of Home Affairs.
So it's an illegal entity.
Yes. Yes. When you talk about the SP Socialist Party, it's there, but it's too weak. It cannot challenge the
What
UPND.
makes it weak, Mr. Mtumba?
I think they are not organized. They are not
Comrade
organized.
Fred Membe won't be happy with you. What makes it weak?
No, of course, I was one of the candidates who just resigned on the way. The truth is that he's not organized.
It's not organized.
He's not organized. He's not even that popular, but he can make it if he adjusts his, his games to make Zambians believe in socialism.
Okay.
So at the moment, I don't see any strong opposition political party.
Let's take it to Comrade Winter Kamimba. Economic Front
Is a single minority opposition political party. Of course, I don't know how many members.
I'm
with his
talking too
political
harsh
party.
on these opposition political
I'm
parties.
not becoming harsh. I want to see organized political parties that are providing a solution, how they will reduce the high cost of living, how they are going to make watch again, how fuel will be subsidized to enable Zambians.
Comrade Sean Tembo.
He can't. He's just a commentator, a funny commentator. I don't know his executive. Does he have an executive?
Okay, let's take it to Comrade Harry Kalaba Talaba.
Calabar, he has just messed up joining the Oka guys in that alliance. He's just messed up. He's one guy who resigned because he didn't want corruption. But he has joined himself to people that he condemned. How can he win Zambians' hearts?
The young man, Jackson Silavo.
He has also messed up because he was credible. Sometimes, he praises the government where it has done well. He's also not organized. He has joined already filth characters.
Common President, difficult, Thomas Palo.
He's a comedian, as you are aware, but sometimes he speaks sense. He's also not organized. He doesn't have even a majority number apart from just Lusaka. We know him to be a social media opposition political party. Of course, he speaks sense, but he's not organized.
Okay, Bamayowa na Charakateka.
Teti, Nabena Patari, he has just, made herself to be in a debt group.
Okay. Our sister, Saboy Mboela.
Saboy is very articulate, but she's frustrated.
Politically?
Politically.
Okay.
She just hates this UPND government, especially its leader. She has never spoken anything good. She's always a criticizer. Not organized because she belongs to a party that is not legally registered. So we do not have an opposition political party that can unseat the UPND government.
Okay, finally, but not the least, Pastor Danny Pule, right now in detention.
Unorganized.
Some sections of society are calling him a political prisoner.
Unorganized.
Okay.
Has no direction.
Our mother, Madam Edith Nawakwi.
Oh, a person who was once a finance minister. She hates a church. So bitter about it.
Okay.
She's not winning any heart of anybody.
Okay.
That's my analysis.
Bitterness never wins heart.
He doesn't.
We have it's Kasonde Mwenda. We've got Umuntu Party in Mr. Steven Nyirenda.
Nyirenda has gone muty. People doesn't even remember whether at one time he wanted to contest. So he is also not organized.
Ubuntu Party.
Ubuntu Party, that is just something.
In fact,
that
Muntu Party.
Muntu Party, yes.
Okay, Muntu Party, it's a good political party within their rights, but they are not organized. We are talking about a political party that is known countrywide.
Formidable.
Formidable. A party that is known. Mwenda Kasonde is good to analyze, Yeah, he's a good analyzer, but he's a social media political party leader. He is not organized.
So are you then suggesting that the UPND come 2026, they'll have they'll sail smoothly, they'll have a landslide victory?
They will, in fact, win on a presidential results. They will win landslide.
With a landslide?
Yeah.
Mr. Mtu.
Why? Let me tell you.
Okay.
We do not have people that are trustworthy now, especially those that are in the opposition political parties.
Okay.
They're not selling their manifesto. They're not giving us anything new that will change this country. Instead, they're just bringing division. So we hope to see these who want to save Zambia, okay, in a way that this country will develop, must come out and they must visit all the 10 provinces.
We've talked about almost over 8 opposition political parties, and according to your analysis, all these 8 or more are not formidable and are not organized in a sense. Does this also call that we look at the number of political parties that should be formed, so that we just have a handful of them and then they champion for a good cause?
These that have entangled themselves with, former crooks, former corrupt leaders, have just messed up everything. They will have remained neutral to share, good ideologies that will make people believe and trust in them, because Zambians are waking up from lies. They've understood politics, and they will choose a leader who promises them a change and a true change. Already, most people feel the UPN government, in as much as we are living under this expressive economy, they still feel that this president has lied to us because they expected a lot from that which was assured to them. And now, imagine they come another person who will speak things that are not substantial. They will not believe this political party. We want to see Jackson Selavwe, a youthful leader. This is one guy that I was looking forward to see him stand on his foot alone with his political party, maybe with these other new guys that are coming who are thinking to govern this country.
But you can't exist in isolation, Mr.
Now, when you can't exist in isolation, if I befriend you according to my principles, you must be a good person who will carry the vision that I have. But if you are disturbing me, you just want to befriend me to drink, you just want to befriend me to do other things, then I don't need you. I need if he is also supporting my vision, to read. We don't repeat crooked leaders, except we have some that are also in the UPN alliance who were crooked, but they were brought in because by then people just said, we need a change. So it is a great lesson to the UPN also that, if they were
crooks as well.
Yes, we still have them.
In the UPN.
These are people sometimes who were cadres in PF, but now they are stronger in UPN.
Okay.
These are some of the ministers who were in PF. Today they are stronger in the UPN.
Okay.
So they just shifted because of political party. We call them political prostitutes. And the prostitute will never change. You can't trust a prostitute, you can't marry a prostitute. The moment you bring her in the house, definitely she'll sleep with your own brother, even your father. Because she is who she is.
Okay.
Let's get to look at some of the comments. Isaac Chileshes, thank you so much, who says, no organized opposition leader to take over from UPND for now. Let UPND just control things for now. Kings Kasanga says the police are compromised. They are not applying the law the way it is supposed to be applied. They are commanded by the higher authority. And then Mr. Isaac Chileshe comes back again and says the UPND youths must be careful. They must be careful. The party doesn't know how to keep its people. You will suffer alone. Stay away from cadarism. And then we also have Mr. Msanide Bandao says, Wasakazi Nguni, may so rest in peace. Yeah. Mr. Isaac Chileshe again comes back, says, ECL is a joker. Unfortunately, at his level, this is when he has woken up to hooliganism. America forces, NATO forces, Kopala commander. I'm still seeing him dislocated hand here. For him, it was okay. Lawrence Banda, that lady in Kamala South, beaten. Cadarism is not good regardless of where it is coming from. Then Mr. Chuki Mwinga says, I'm following from Washington, D.C. Dr. Dennis Kentumba, you're doing well. You should introduce WhatsApp calling. We also contribute. And then Honorable Kelvin Waliamwana Muchinga says he's watching from Isoka District, Muchinga Province. And then Manix Kalwenda says watching from Lusaka. Matero, proud of you, Honorable Dennis Mutumba, our incoming mayor. And then Julius Daka following, as well as Memory Chimbipa. Right, Joe?
Okay, Clevasia Nyenzu says, for sure, people who talk about tribalism just to divide the people must be dealt with according to the law. Okay, thank you so much. Keep them coming. We do appreciate your association with the breakfast show. This particular morning, we do have Mr. Dennis Mutumba. Others are calling you honorable. Others are calling you
it's a blessing.
Incoming mayor. In the Christian circles, we say you have to receive.
I receive the blessing.
Okay.
Right. I was about to fuse in this question. We've seen time and again politicians at the helm of the country runs, at the helm of spearheading what should be in the public domain. We've seen one alleging, we've seen one defending, we've seen this. It's more of back in the day it's more of Tushimi. Yeah, Chochise, something like that. Right.
Hide and seek.
Yes, if I'm to use those terms. Do we see a time when politicians are going to focus on uniting the country as well as development being at top of their agenda, unlike selfish desires that are always going to be there, based on ensuring that a particular section of society believes that what they're saying is true, and this particular section of society also believes that this political party is the only political party that is preaching the truth?
Okay, if we govern on principle, then this country will change definitely, because we are not getting into position, into power to govern for selfish interest. Why am I saying that if we govern on principle? When we govern on principle, we are going to follow the law. You get the point. We will govern because we want to take this country to another level. All these that is taking place are being defended by politicians themselves. They are defending the wrongs because they need support and they need to move on.
Why should we keep on doing wrong things on the expense of developing this country, on the expense of majority Zambians, Mr. Mtumba? Why should we continue playing politics?
We should do politics that improve the economy of this country, develop this country, so that each and every Zambian benefits and has a share from good governance. But the problem is we have politicians who are jokers. Even when among 10 politicians, one is more serious, the other 9 will be jokers. The other 9.
They are all jokers. You are to blame the Zambian people.
Even when we blame
you keep on electing them, so why should you complain?
We need, that's why as activists, we should be there to tell people on how to select leaders. What type of leaders are they supposed to vote for? Because most political leaders, these that have ambitions, I've been telling you that I'm focusing to contests as a council chairperson in my district. The question is, what do I want to bring in Shiryunji district? Is it because I saw the current CC is driving a Porsche car? I will not save the people.
You also want a VX?
You get the point. I think I'll be one of the person, if people wishes to put me there, I will live where I live now because I'm so comfortable. Because other people, when they are given position, they will even shift, leaving people, because it's a game of making money. Now, let us govern this country with the principle.
Hold your thought. Now, so, isn't this political rhetoric coming from Mr. Mtumba? Because we have heard, we were told ministers to start driving VITs.
It's good because we are saving the money.
But they're still driving VXs.
But they're still driving VXs.
As much
it
as
has not been yet.
Right
it has not been yet implemented. So they will continue driving those vehicles.
In 3 years down the line, where is that VITs grey in color that a minister is supposed to drive?
But who said
so
that?
We reduce on expenditure.
Joe.
Where is that permanent secretary that has been traveling a lot to stop traveling so that we reduce on expenditure? These were things that were being taught. Lectures were being held at Mungushi International
But who
Conference
told you
Center.
that this government will provide VITs for the minister, the PSs, and the directors of the government? Who told you?
Weren't we told by the head of state?
No, the president just condemned vehicles that consumes more fuel just by kicking a start. He never said that I'll bring the VITs. Where is that statement coming from? Or are you trying to think that when he said we can't get the VXC, V8
For ministers?
For ministers, yes, those vehicles I think were too luxurious. That money was supposed to be channeled to other sectors that are vulnerable. So there is no VITs that is coming, honestly. How can a VITs meet the terrain in the rural parts? We just need vehicles that are stronger, durable, easy to manage. But giving VITs to ministers and what are you trying to do? It will be even more costly because they don't have the strength and the durability is not in those cars.
To carry a minister. A VIT can't carry a minister.
A VIT can carry a minister, but it's very, very expensive to maintain them because they are not stronger.
Mr. Mtumba, I was having a conversation yesterday with some of our colleagues, Nelson. Then one of them said, showed us some images and the video clip of a minister, some ministers in Sweden, riding a bicycle, going for a cabinet meeting. And I thought to myself, these are our donors. These are the people that send money to Zambia. And you, the beneficiaries of those monies, are driving VXs.
We need to change.
What's wrong with us?
We need to change the mindset. When you're a leader, you're not a master. It is something that is twisted. We have, you know, these leaders are now masters in the name of calling us, you know, servants. Okay. Now, in Germany, you've mentioned of Sweden.
Sweden, yes.
In Germany, a minister is riding on a bicycle, going to the cabinet.
Yes,
office.
cabinet meeting.
Their focus is not personal gain. Their focus is to save the majority citizens. Why? They've sacrificed to be in a position to save their nation so that they leave a legacy.
But why is it the opposite?
But in Africa, when you become a mayor, when you become a councillor, an MP, the DC, the director, the
people
PS,
should fear you.
People should fear you. Are even given a red carpet. When the person who made you to be in that office up to now is not having 3 meals per day. So the interest of the people that are in position, that are serving in the government, must be to focus on the development which every citizen benefit thereof.
Mr. Mtumba, yesterday again, after leaving the office, I was having a conversation with colleagues. In fact, I was practically mobbed. They were saying, look, address this, bring it up as one of your discussion points tomorrow. The high cost of living, Mr. Mtumba. The concerns are still the same, Mr. Mtumba. Others are saying they cannot manage or afford 3 meals a day. Others are saying are only managing 1 meal a day. One who is an employer was saying he's going to lay off 10 of his workers. He's going to lay off 10 of his workers so that he's able to balance the payroll, and he remains with a few workers. And I'm thinking about those youths that are going to be laid off. They are coming back, Mukombon. What are they going to be doing when they come back, Mukombon? You see? So the concern is still the same, the high cost of living, Mr. Mutumba. Others are saying their businesses are not performing well because of load shedding. They are not making like they used to make. All these complaints, Mr. Mutumba, are at the mouths of the majority. Zambians, how do we begin to tackle them?
We need good policies under this government, the New Dawn government, so that a Zambian is affording to buy essential commodities, to enable one to eat 3 times per day. So we are looking at these that you are mentioning who will be laid off because of you know, the instability of the economy. The question is, how much are they paid? Do they have money to feed their families? For example, if they are 5, we have these same workers. These maids are just paid 1,500 kwacha. And now they will be laid off because the economic activities are very low due to certain, you know, challenges faced by this country. The load shedding you're mentioning now is causing, you know, non-performance of economic activities in the country. There is no money that is coming. Now, these 10, if they were to be laid off today, they will have no salary. They have to wait until the economy stabilizes.
Exactly.
So now, the high cost of living has not spared any, those in the opposition and in the ruling party and the ordinary citizens.
But should the Zambian people be comforted by that? Mr.
They should not be comforted. That's why, in as much as I would support the government of the day, there are certain things that I don't support, because government assured the Zambians that the economy will be better, but the economy has just gone worse, such that you and me, for us to make 100 kwacha per day, we need to struggle. And even if when we find it, it is useless because the dollar is challenging the kwacha. Today,
it's at 26.13 today.
So many essential commodities are already expensive. You can't buy anything reasonable from 100 kwacha. This is where now we are admonishing the government of the day not to comfort themselves to say, no, things are okay. The truth is that things are hard, things are not okay. We depend and wish this government will work on mechanism to enable Zambians come back. The more we expect things to be better, the worse they become. Why? It is because the dollar is gaining strength than kwacha, fuel is expensive, the load is shedding, so money is a challenge to find.
Mr. Mtumba, on that one, let me take you to ZNS. Let me take you to ZNS quickly. I know, Mr. Chileshe, you are calling. Please come through so that we can have a conversation about Chileshe. Thank you so much for your patience. ZNS is opening up ZNS security, ZNS security, ZNS, is it block making, ZNS, and this has been made with polarized opinions, obviously mixed reactions from members of the public out there, Mr. Mtumba. How do you look at ZNS coming up with these small branches, ZNS security, it will have a security company, how do you look at it?
It's a good idea. Already if it will have, a security firm, meaning it will create job opportunities for the Zambians.
So does it mean that our youth can only be equated to being security guards?
It pays to be a security guard in another nation. It pays.
But here in Zambia, we're talking about Zambia.
It should be paying because there will be a salary scale that will be put there, meaning somebody who was getting something like 1.5 from a Zambian-owned security firm is paid a 1.5. Zambia National Service Security Wing would definitely pay them maybe about 4,000 kwacha. So it's a good idea.
Mr. Chileshe comes through. Let's find out from Mr. Chileshe. Mr. Chileshe, good morning. You have a minute to make your point.
Good morning, Ojo.
Good morning, Mr. Chileshe.
Let me make this request. Is Mr. Mpuma's organization, is it registered or is it just advocating like me who wants to advocate for good governance? I may work under him even as a volunteer because he has a balanced analyzation of things. So my contribution number one is that when you look at the way he was talking about, when you look at the economy and how we select leaders, this is the reason why we are pushing so hard for this government so that they can work on the issue of the economy. And if they are not going to do that, you find that people that stolen our money will come back and dish out money because people are angry. It's in if you go to Mundu kwacha, eyo mairo in cases and 100 kwacha. Okay, if we are not careful with hunger. The situation currently, when you talk of the economy, is bad. So us who are genuinely supporting this government, we are saying, look, let us work with the issue of the economy. For now, like he said, we have no any credible opposition leader whom we can rely on as Zambian, especially the way things are, apart from this government. Okay? This is the government that is going to take us somewhere, believe me or not. This is the government that, by the way things are, if it was under PF, I am telling you, Joe, things would have been bad. Okay? So when you talk of prudence in this government and the like, look, if we remove the bitterness, okay, in us, you may find that even a minister can go on a bicycle to parliament. But number one, our attention has never been ended in this country. So even the safety of that MP, that minister, is not guaranteed to move in that VIX you were talking about. Remember how the Kawata MP died? We all condemned to say the MP was supposed to have a security, immediately reach home, because immediately she opened the remote, but he went to go and open the gate for himself. So if we can come like Mr. Mtumba's suggestion and the like, I think we can go somewhere as a country. Look at the FIC report today. It's about 81 something million. But me as a UPN
billion. It's actually 61 billion, Mr. Chilish.
Yes. So me as a UPN member, I'm not even excited. about that. Why? The reason is very simple. The conclusion of these reports are not yet to my satisfaction. Not at all. And this is, sometimes we are beginning to withdraw our confidence to say, do we really have the same confidence that we are putting in our leaders? Today someone is challenging you to say, tell me what I stole. And we are 3 years in government. We cannot even substantiate to say, yes, this one, and this one we are going to take away from you. I think let us move by our words. When you talk of capitalism for me has
as you conclude, Bachelor.
So as I conclude, capitalism has no place in my heart because today I'm looking at 2026. How am I going to stand to Joel, whom I recruited to say no, things will be okay. We are going to remove capitalism, this and this, because these are the things that us who went and campaigned for this government, even though we are not getting anything, we are the things that we listed to say this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So today when you talk of capitalism, I'm not with them because it will be very difficult for me again to stand in 2026 and campaign for president. Let our leaders move in quickly and address this issue once and for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Wachleshe. Hope your leaders move in too quickly because they are only remaining with 1 year, 4 months to the 2026 election. Hope they still have time on their hands. We move on. Wachleshe is talking about the FIC report that has been released, and it's a screaming headline in the News Diggers, dear viewers, which reads, FIC detects 61 billion kwacha in money laundering, illicit financial transfers abroad. Okay. Then, mini headline, Lungu willing to explain how he built family's property, says Makebi Zulu. Then, yes, Mr. Mtumba, FIC report, Financial Intelligence Center report, indicates that 61 billion kwacha has been detected in illicit financial transactions and money laundering abroad. Money is being externalized from Zambia into our neighboring countries. Your comments, sir?
This is the second time we are talking about, millions of kwacha, millions of dollars being transacted illegally, according to the report from the Auditor General's report and also a FIC report. But we need actions. When we hear about this, we begin to think, what is going on? If the money was detected, who are these people that were transacting? Because we have a system that is unable to, we have a system that is able to track who is transacting between who and who. We need this information today. But if it is just coming on the paper and there is no action taken, then I think it doesn't make any sense. We want to hear who transacted the billions of dollars, in Asia from Zambia. Who is this person transacting the 62 billion, whether 65 billion? Who is this person? What institution is this? What deal was there?
But is that even important, Mr. Mtumba? If that happens and you find that person, what is going to happen is that person will be told, surrender part of that money. The remaining money you can keep. What kind of a law is that?
No, we need to amend this provision in the Anti-Corruption Act because it is leaving people more free. Next time they'll be even more richer than the people they've stolen from. So this clause is good to recover money, but at the same time, there must be an additional amendment that when they forfeit the money to the state, they must be convicted. A reasonable sentence so that they learn a lesson to deter those that will steal tomorrow. But giving them a chance to declare what they have and forfeit it to the government, they remain free people. We see the faith in son, very free people. We see many others who gave back the money to the state. They are very free people. But a person who has stolen a chicken is convicted.
Then
1 year.
Are we then applying the law fairly?
We are not fair. So
why are we lenient when it comes to
equality?
Let me ask you this question, because you are an advocate, Mr. Mtumba. Why are we seeing this leniency and kid gloves when it comes to politicians, those that are politically inclined, relatives to politicians, acquaintances to politicians? Why do we see leniency when it comes to meting out sentences to them? And somebody from Kuku, Chawama, Kwa George, Kwa Mandevu, Kwa Desai, Kuja, when they steal a chicken, they are sentenced to 1 year imprisonment with hard labor, even 5 years. Why do we see this disparity? Maybe I'm behind.
There is no equity in giving out justice. Okay, there is no justice, in short, and the cause of all this is corruption. They are sacred people. Those that are in the system mandated to handle matters of forfeiture, to me, I think they also benefit. That is my opinion. Because if justice was to be given equally, then these people, because if they fail to account for their monies, meaning they've stolen. I can't fail to tell people how I built the house. I can't fail to tell people how I built some of the apartments that I may have. I should explain. This is where I got the money. These are transactions. These are evidences. But if people are unable, it means that they are not truthful people. They are not honest. They are corrupt people. But those that are given a mandate to handle matters of forfeiture, I still feel that they also benefit. No wonder they stand to defend this clause in the provision in the
So why can't we say if somebody steals a goat or a chicken in Kadingalinga, in Bauleni, or in any one of these densely populated townships, Kungombe or Kukamanga, why don't we say Bweresani Nkuku? When you bweresa that nkuku, then you can go. We'll let you go. Since we now have the nkuku that you stole, why don't we do that? But we decide to send those impoverished, poor individuals to prison, and people that have admittedly they've admitted that yes, I have this money in my custody, but get part of it, leave this with me. They are roaming the streets of Lusaka. What's really happening, Mr. Mtumba?
Ninkuku yamena yapezeka ilipo. Pali ndalama.
And that's a free range.
You get the point, eh?
Oh, okay.
Nikankuku. Why should there be forfeiture? Why should there be forfeiture? But where there is money, everyone shivers, including the director of ACC, including the deck general. You get the point, eh? They shiver. We don't even know how much they share. I'm not accusing them, but I know what money does to people when they see it.
Okay, allegedly shiver.
Yes, they shiver. Okay, so now, if even in declaration, they even mess up why, they don't even know how to handle, monies when they are too much. And yet, there is this clause and the provision to forfeit the money when you fail to account for what you have.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Mtumba, today in the Daily Nation, former President Edgar Lungu says, tell me what I stole. ECL tells HH.
Okay. If it's challenging this government that tell me what I stole, I think it is time for the government, if they have evidence that he has stolen, let them move a motion in parliament to remove his immunity so that the investigations are done. At the moment, he still has immunity, and if it's not scrapped off, there is nothing that this government will do. If the security wings and the investigators, intelligence, has information that he has stolen, the only thing they can do according to the law is to take the matter in the parliament so that his immunity is removed, then they can prosecute him. Failure to which,
so
let's just look at it.
Is it daring them, knowing that right now they are handicapped? There's nothing that they can do to him.
Yeah, because even those that would want to prosecute him, if they feel Edgar did stole, they must have facts. When these facts are brought forth, they can undress his immunity so that we see
through parliament.
Through parliament, that's a law. For these other offenses, if he moves illegally in the street, the police have every right to arrest him because he only has immunity for the time that he was serving as a president.
Okay, Mr. Mtumba, unfortunately, we need to go quickly. Daily Mail runs with a headline, scheme against Mapani. Now UPND reveals vicious plan to hound out Zesco Limited MD Victor Mapani from Zesco. That there's a scheme. The MD wants to be hounded out.
I think
not he wants. Certain people want to hound him out.
This information has been there, and it's been circulating that he needs to be removed because maybe he's not performing well. But I want to tell you, Zesco, this electricity utility company, is facing a lot of challenges. We need to have plan B to solve the problem that
so he can't be blamed on an individual.
He can't be blamed because there are other people who feels is not working so well, is trying to create, an arrest where electricity and load shedding is concerned. But I think we need to understand the operation of the general manager. Before we remove him, we must be satisfied that he has failed to perform. Otherwise, let us not use political influence to remove those that are appointed by ministers from different ministerial sectors.
Okay, fantastic. Mr. Mtumba, before I thank you and let you go, quickly, dear director, with your permission, I would just want to tell our viewers the new load shedding schedule by the power utility company Zesco. Now, Zesco Limited announces a new load shedding schedule with power outages lasting approximately 12 hours a day due to system constraints such as fluctuations in power demand that exceed grid capacity, causing instability or requiring extended load shedding to balance supply and demand. Now, electricity supply may not be consistent across all areas. The corporation urges customers to adopt energy efficient practices. This statement reads in part, and it's courtesy, obviously issued by Corporate Affairs Department of Zesco. Now, if you have to know your area, dear viewers, now this is the schedule. Group A, industrial, timings starting today. Power will be cut from 16 hours to 04 in the morning the next day. B, Group B, industrial, from 01 to 13 hours. Group C, residential, okay, 07 to 13 hours, no power. 13 hours to 17 hours, you will have power. 17 hours to 23 hours, no power. Group D, residential, from 04 hours to 08 hours, you will have power. From 08 to 12 hours, from 04 hours to 08 hours, no power. From 08 to 12 hours, power. From 12 hours to 20 hours, no power. Group E, residential, power will be cut from 8 hours to 14 hours. And from 19 hours to 01 hours. Group F, farmers, power will be cut from 08 hours to 20 hours. Then Group H, residential, 23 hours to 7 hours, no power. And 12 hours to 16 hours, no power. So, obviously, you can go to the Zesco Facebook page or website for this. I'm sure it's updated there. If not, Zesco is listening. They will update it, I'm sure. Okay, thank you so much to you, the viewers, for having tuned in. We need to go. We've overrun our program. And let me thank you most sincerely, Mr. Mtumba, for coming through and for giving us that elaborate explanation regarding national matters.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you to the viewers.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mtumba. There you have it, viewers. Thank you so much. Thank you to our director, Mr. Isaac Chivita, and indeed my co-host who has disappeared. Probably is not abducted. He hasn't been abducted. We'll see you when you see us. Good morning. God bless Zambia.